Okay, in this video, what I want to talk about and engage you in is thinking about what gets in the way of having fun, relaxing, being motivated, concentrating, focusing, being present, being at balance. What is it that gets in the way? And of course, there are a whole host of answers you might give around, well, it's because of money, or it's because of where I live, or it's because it's hard, or whatever. But actually, there's also a set of answers there which are about your own thoughts and how you put kind of things in your own way, actually. And those thoughts come in all sorts of shapes and forms, and we have words for them in coaching. Some people call them the saboteur because they trip you up. Some people call them the inner critic because they often kind of make you doubt yourself. Some people call them gremlins because they nag away at you. Some people call them the devil's whisper, or the demons, or the chimps. There's lots of different words for them, but they have a characteristic, and that characteristic is they tend to stop us doing what we really want to do. They tend to make you hold back, or they tend to make you feel a little bit down about something. They tend to make us feel nervous. They don't tend to help us move forward. And what I want to invite you to do is learn to spot them and to see what happens when you just move them aside slightly. And actually, that's the trick. The first trick is spotting them. Learning to spot the gremlin. I'm going to call them the gremlin from now on. And one way to spot the gremlins is actually the words that you use. Just notice how often you use the words should, or shouldn't, or you must, or you ought, or I can't, or I'm not good enough, or words like but, or if only. If you notice how when you use those words, you're often putting something in the way, something that means that you can't move forward in some way. So you tend to feel stuck. You tend to feel a bit trapped. And one thing that gremlins tend to then do, which is another way to spot them, is they tend to generalize. So whatever the situation is you're in, they're very good at making it much bigger. So you're in a situation where you find it difficult to read something, or difficult to do something in sport or music. And suddenly they make it much bigger than that. Suddenly it's, well, actually, you're no good at studying, full stop, or you're no good at sport, full stop, or you can't be a musician. They're very good at making whatever that situation is much bigger. So they raise the stakes, and they don't leave us with a lot of choice. They tend to make it, well, it's either that or that. There's no in between, there's no negotiation. It's all or nothing. So a classic example of a gremlin that you can call it what you want would be something like the imposter. And the imposter's very fond of saying, you're going to be found out soon. They're going to realise you're not good at this. And the impact that has on you is you perhaps hold back from saying something in a seminar, or you hold back from doing the essay as you'd really like to, or you're just feeling generally nervous because you're going to be found out any moment. So there's lots of gremlins. We've all got them in some shape or form. And there's a formula, a really simple formula you can use to try and spot yours. And that's the first invitation, because actually if you can spot them, that immediately starts to depower them. And the formula is very simple. Give them a name. That can be a silly name or a very factual name. It could be like the imposter, or it could be Impy. It could be whatever you want. You could call it Ian. So you give it a name, something that just means you can identify it. And then get used to what it says. Just notice what it tends to say. It will be very fond of saying something in particular. So give it a name, write down what it's fond of saying. So the imposter, Impy Ian, is very fond of saying, I'm going to be found out soon. And then note down for yourself as well what the impact is. So the impact is, I hold back from asking questions in case I look stupid, for example. So use that formula. My gremlin is called ... is very fond of saying ... and the impact on me is ... Do that for as many gremlins as you've got, and just learn to spot them. And what you can do over time is just become really aware of when your gremlin voice starts to emerge and what impact that has on you in different situations. And over time, write it down. Writing it down somehow helps. It somehow takes it out of your head and puts it down on a piece of paper where you can see it a little bit differently. So my invitation for you over the next few days or over the next week is to try and write down your gremlins. See if you can get to know them a little bit see what their habits are, see where they come and interfere, and notice what the impact is on you.